Hello everyone, my name is Jamin. Thanks so much for visiting my channel. In this video, I have an HP Envy 360 laptop. This is going to be the 16AC0013 series. I'm going to take you on a teardown or disassembly tour, show you how to safely open it up and all the various components you can access once you're inside. So first thing, power down your computer the correct way. Make sure it's off and unplugged from your charger. We're then going to flip your computer over to access the bottom case screws. Now in this computer, you only have 4 screws. You have this one here near the top left of my screen, this one near the top right, and these 2 below near the center. So those are the only 4 screws you have. After that, you're going to take a small, flat, preferably plastic pry tool. I say plastic because it'll scratch your case less than a metal one will. And we're going to go across the seam all the way around to pry this bottom panel off of the rest of your computer. It's usually best to start up here near one of your corners. Don't put the pry tool too far in. You could damage some internal components. Just keep it on the outside edge. And if you get stuck going in one direction, leave it, go to the other side, and continue in the other direction. Once you get your bottom case off, this is what you're looking at for the inside of your computer. Now, as a general repair side note for computers, whenever I'm working on a laptop, I have it sitting on an anti-static mat. Either that or an anti-static bracelet are great ideas to avoid damaging anything in your computer when you're working on it. If you would like any help with tools or supplies for your repair projects, there'll be a link above. Also below in the description, it'll have a list of many of the tools and supplies that I use in my shop. So here's your battery down bottom. I'll explain how to unplug it and how to unscrew it. This battery is an HP part number WE04XL battery, 68 watt hour, 7.72 volts. I will have that information below in the description as well if you need it to search for your own battery replacement. However, I will also have a link below in the description to all the replacement and upgrade parts for this specific model. I'll try to have at least one battery replacement option in there for you if that makes it easier. So to unplug the battery, it plugs in right here. You see the wires here, the black plug and the white port. As with any cables or wires in a computer, we avoid pulling on the wires as much as possible because we can damage them and even pull them right out of the plug sometimes. So instead of pulling on the wires or just yanking on the battery, try to use your fingernails or a pry tool to jimmy this black plug out of that port first. That's a safer way to unplug it. And then to unscrew the battery, there are 5 screws next to these little white triangles or arrows, M2X3.5L, those are the screws. And you have one in each of the bottom corners, one here near the top right corner, one near the top left corner, and one in the center near the plug. That's how you would get that battery out. As a last side note with this type of repair in a computer, if you're here because your computer is not turning on, it could be a bad battery. However, most laptops should still turn on and function even with the bad battery as long as they're plugged into the power adapter. So if you're having trouble with your computer not starting, it could be something other than a bad battery. I will have a video link above. Also below in the description, I'll also put it as the end video when this is done. It'll be a tutorial to show you how to troubleshoot a laptop not turning on so you can find the actual cause of it. Now here's your solid state drive. You have a single M.2 port right here. And as you can see, there's a metal guard on top of it. So you would remove this screw right here on the left of that plate, and this metal guard will come off. It'll also take a thermal pad up with it that's on the underside of this to facilitate heat transfer out of your solid state drive. After that, there's a screw down here in the middle. That's how you would release a solid state drive, and you would pull it out of its port right there. Now, as mentioned before, this is an M.2 port PCIe. Most of you will have a 512 gigabyte drive in here stock. The part number for HP for that drive is N45476-005, and this takes Gen 4 solid state drive. So I will have all that information below in the description if you're looking for your own replacement, but I will also have a link below. It'll be a parts list for all the upgrade and replacement parts for this model computer. I will try to have some upgrade options in there as well. So I'll try to put a 500 gigabyte drive in there if you're just looking to replace this. I'll have a terabyte drive and a 2 terabyte drive that are compatible with this port if you're looking to upgrade. And I guess the last thing to shout out about this type of repair on a computer is if you are replacing or upgrading your drive, you most likely will need to install an operating system onto that drive afterwards. I will have 2 more links below in the description. One will show you how to install Windows 10 onto an HP computer, and one will show you how to install Windows 11 onto an HP computer. As far as the RAM, many of you will have guessed it. You can't see any RAM here. That's because the RAM that this computer has is integrated into the motherboard. It cannot be easily replaced or removed. So unfortunately, you can upgrade your storage, your solid state drive in this computer, but you cannot necessarily upgrade your memory or your RAM. You would have to find an actual motherboard with a higher RAM value than the one you have. So your Wi-Fi card is over here underneath your fan. I will have a link below in the description with all the replacement and upgrade parts for this specific model, and I will try to have a Wi-Fi card option in there if you want help finding a replacement for this. To get this Wi-Fi card out, there's a screw right here on the left underneath this guard that you just have to peel up. Once you take that screw out, you'll be able to slide this card out of that port. And then all you'll have are these antenna wire that snap onto it. And those are just snaps, not plugs. You just pull directly up and off of the Wi-Fi card, and those will snap off. To get them back on, they do need to be at a perfect 90-degree angle to snap back onto the Wi-Fi card, and you are strong enough to damage them if they're not at the right angle and you force it. So just go slow, be patient. It may be a pain if you're new to this, but you will be able to get those back on. I will also have the Wi-Fi card info below in the description. These are 6E Bluetooth 5.3 wireless cards. I'll have that information below in the description. And I guess the last thing to shout out about a Wi-Fi card replacement operation, if you're having Wi-Fi issues in your computer, if it's not seeing any networks, if it's not able to attach to any networks, it could be a bad Wi-Fi card, but it also could just be a driver or a system issue. Before going to your Wi-Fi card to replace it, try troubleshooting. There will be a video link above and below in the description. It'll show you how to troubleshoot a laptop that's not finding any Wi-Fi. Try that video first. So your first speaker is over here near the left of my screen, this L shape. And on the right, it's another L shape on the right corner of my screen. So they both plug into the computer separately. This one on the right plugs into the motherboard here. This one on the left plugs in here. So you have to undo these 2 screws on either one to release the speakers. And as mentioned earlier, do not pull on these wires. These are even more fragile than the battery wires. So definitely just use your fingernails or a pry tool to push that plug out of the port on each of these. There will be a link below in the description of all the replacement and upgrade parts for this specific model computer. I will try to have some speaker options in there for you. And I guess as a last shout out about a speaker repair like this, if you're having sound quality issues, if the sound is fluctuating depending on what software you're using, if it's not acting correctly, it may not be the actual speakers. That's usually when the speakers are blown and they just have that junk blown sound. But if they're fluctuating or giving you other audio issues, you may want to try fully updating your system and drivers first, because that may solve the problem. I will have a link below in the description in how you can process all your driver and all your system updates. So here's your fan right here, and your heatsink goes from the vent and the fan area down and screws over your CPU. So the way to get your fan up, you have a screw here and a screw here. Be very careful when unplugging your fan from the motherboard. The wires are even more fragile than these battery wires, so make sure you use your fingernail and a pry tool to pry that off. You're going to have to remove this black guard here, as well as this guard around your heatsink if you're looking to take your heatsink up. If you're looking to take your heatsink up, you have these 4 screws right here. Now keep in mind, if you're removing your heatsink for any reason, and you expose your thermal paste to air, you definitely want to reapply that thermal paste. Once it's been exposed to air, it's not going to do its job right. So below in the description, I will have a video tutorial on how to fix an overheating laptop computer. In that video, it'll show you how to correctly apply thermal paste. You'll have to clean all the old stuff off. You don't want to put new paste on top of old paste. It won't work well. And then you want to only put a little amount down. You don't want to put too much thermal paste, or it will have the reverse effect. It'll tend to lock heat in rather than facilitate its transfer out. So check out that video link below if you are needing help doing that. Thanks again so much for watching. Please remember to like and share if this helped you out, if you think it can help someone else out. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoy DIY computer content like this, or if you just want to keep me on hand to answer any of your future computer questions. I do try to answer all questions throughout my channel at least a couple times a day. Also, feel free to check out the related links section below in the description. From time to time, I do try to add things in there that I think will help you with your general computer life, make it more productive, more enjoyable. So thanks again for watching, everyone. I look forward to seeing you on my next video.